our session. Hi everyone, welcome to Community Live 2020. Glad to have you on the Accessibility Awareness session. We have invited you to join the conversation about what is accessibility about and how can we use Google Maps app to contribute to this noble cause. Please follow our meeting rules. Pay your attention, this session is being recorded to be shared publicly. Please mute yourself and feel free to use the chat window. We love to see your friendly smiles. Please turn on your video camera. For mobile users, please hold your phone in landscape. And we are starting with the introduction in our team. I'm Jana Burunina from Mykolaiv, Ukraine. I'm very glad that my friends, accessibility champions, are hosting this session with me. Kashif from Karachi, Pakistan, Sagir from Lagos, Nigeria, and Jessica from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Jessie, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Shane. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to session B. I'm Jessica from Argentina, as Shane said, but everyone calls me Jessie, so feel free to do that. I'm a level 10 local guide and Connect Moderator, and my passion for accessibility started back in 2017 when we were first allowed to add candidate information to maps, and Google held a meetup about it here in Buenos Aires. But the One Accessibility Alliance definitely helped it become as important for me as it is now, so thank you to the Alliance. I hand it over to our firefighter, Sahir.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Jesse. Hi everyone, and welcome to Community Live 2020. As Elia said, my name is Segir from Lagos, Nigeria. I welcome you all once again. I hope that you will enjoy this session. I hope that you will learn from the presenters, and also the presenters hope to learn from you too. On this note, I hand you over to my brother from another mother, an accessibility champion. Kashif, over to you.
Thank you so much, Sagir. Hello, my friend. Love to see all the new friends again after a long time. I am Kashif Misidia, a level 10 local guide from Pakistan and a Connect Moderator and a Google crowdsource influencer. I love to learn and share my experience with my friends on every forum, especially when we talk about helping differently able people. And I am so much thankful to this great form of Local Guides Connect, where I can listen and share my voice of my soul. And I am glad to hand over to my friend and accessibility champion, Jane. Please, Jane.
Thank you, Kashif. I'm Jana Burunina. Friends call me Jane. I'm local guide level 9 and local guide Connect Moderator and Google crowdsource influencer. I learned the importance of accessibility contribution to Google Maps when I was attending Connect Live 2018. Since then, I do my best to highlight accessibility features of places in my reviews, upload photos of special amenities to make Google Maps more inclusive for everyone. I believe I can help people through my contributions. Accessibility means equal opportunities for all categories of wheelchair users, persons with walker, parents with a stroller, older adults, people with special needs. Everyone deserves to live and enjoy life, whatever it's eating out, visiting places, traveling. If accessibility information is on maps for people for whom it is especially important, it becomes easier to know a particular place is available and is worth visiting. Google Maps is a very popular app that everyone checks before leaving home. I use Google Maps when check traffic reviews of places I'm going to visit a lot more on Google Maps. The detailed accessibility information about places indicates inaccessible entrances and you'll be able to see if a place has accessible seating, restrooms, or parking. Definitely save time and help people to make the decision of whatever to visit the place or not. As a local guides, we add accessibility-related photos, write detailed reviews, and mention accessibility features of places in them. That missing information create lists of accessibility places to Google Maps and accurately answer the accessibility questions on Google Maps. Is there a wheelchair accessible entrance, wheelchair accessible bathroom, seating, parking, elevators? In this way, we are doing a lot to make Google Maps more inclusive. Let's learn more about it from our accessibility champions. And now I give a floor to Jessie. Jessie added 24,000, more than 373 photos to Google Maps. And her photos were viewed over 149 million times. That's fantastic. Jessie will share with you with us how to make our photo contribution to Google Maps helpful to everyone. Please, Jessie.
Thank you, Shane. Well, I'm sure you all know how much photos matter on maps. They really let people see what to expect in all areas of a place, and they are what some people first check when they are checking a place on maps. At least I know I do that sometimes. And I'm sure you also know how easy it is to contribute with them. You just need a phone and stay still for like less than a second. So really all that you need for you to contribute photos that show the accessibility of a place is first you wanting to do it, second knowing what kind of photos you could take that will help people with accessibility needs, and third just remembering it and doing it when you're someplace taking photos. So as you can see on the slide, there are some things you want to look for when you take accessibility photos. First is the entrance. Make sure the ground can be easily seen so that people can check if there is a step, for example. You can also focus on how wide the door is. Also talking about doors, you can show how open, how do they open, and of course, again, how wide they are because they need to have room for two people to go through at the same time. And then you can show ramps on the entrance or also inside, try to capture how wide and steep they are. So two photos are usually the best you can do, one from the side and one entering the ramp, for example. And you can also show elevators, show how wide they are and if the doors are automatic or if someone in a wheelchair will need help to go in. Then you can also show stairs. You can show how a place is not accessible, but if there is an elevator, make sure to capture that too. And stairs can have a wheelchair elevator near, so look out for that. And in all areas, you can just take photos showing how the space is, the room there is, so to know if wheelchairs can easily go by, for example. Then when it comes to bathrooms, you can show the sign if it has one that is accessible, or also the inside, like the door, and how spacious it is. And then about the seating areas, you can try to show how wide and high the tables are and how much room is around it. Make sure the ground is seen so people can tell if the chairs and tables can be moved. And always show the area around, places to sit. So again, people know if there is enough room for them to go through. And also you can take photos that show things that only or mostly people with disabilities will use. Those could be accessible menus, tactile maps, audio description headsets, or even spare wheelchairs some places could have. And last but not least, look out for signs. So you can take photos of signs that say that a place or area is accessible. They easily attract attention and immediately let people know about the place's accessibility. and you can look for them next to stairs, on doors, or maybe on front desks of places. So those are some main things you can look out for, and now that you know some things about you can take photos of, all that is for you to remember and apply it when taking photos for maps, which can take its time, but if you want to, I'm sure you will get there. Shane, back to you.
Thank you, Jessie, for sharing with us this valuable detailed information. We know how important visual information, photos, to make decision should we visit this place or not. That's why our relevant photos are very important for Google Maps users, especially for people with disabilities. Next, Sagir will share with you how to make differences with written accessibility reviews on Google Maps. Sagir has written 2,112 reviews on Google Maps. It's really impressive. Please, Sagir. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Jane. And thank you, Jessie, for this wonderful presentation. On our next topic is accessibility review on maps. We all know that our reviews on maps help people to decide where to go based on our experience through our reviews. It is the same with accessibility reviews, but to me, I consider this special. Why? Because with our reviews, we help special people. I will narrow my discussion on some points. A good accessibility review should contain at least one, if not of all of the following information that I will say now. Number one, I will say that a good review should have a detailed information about access to the environment. What did I mean by this? When you are writing a review, you should ensure that you include how accessible this place is for the wheelchair accessible users. Just based on what JC have said, you can use your photo to take a picture of a ramp of how the place is accessible. Likewise, you can also state it in your review that yes, this place is good for wheelchair accessible people, or it has a wheelchair accessible car park, and some other information that you need to say concerning the environment. Secondly, information about accessibility facilities. When you're writing a review, you should ensure that you include some information regarding facilities for the wheelchair accessible people. Is the toilet wheelchair accessible? Does the dining area in a restaurant have a wheelchair access for somebody on a wheelchair to sit and have a very nice dinner? Or does it have special room for mothers with their child on rollers that they can use to change and other stops like that? The third point I want to mention here is information about accessibility services. What are the services available in that place that people with special needs can use in order to enjoy themselves the way me and you go there and enjoy our own self? So you should ensure that your review captures such information. This will admire a person with special needs going to such place to be able to see that, yeah, this place has some of the requirements I need to visit a place. In my view, most of the times when I'm writing a review, I just use 1 star to rate a place with accessibility. I reserve 1 star for accessibility information, then another star for other information, another star for another information. At the end of the day, when I write a review, that place will have 3, 4, or 5 star. So most of the times, if you see me holding back 1 star from my review, it's because that place does not have access, wheelchair access, or doesn't have much of accessibility information. Then the fourth information I want to talk about, and the last, which is not the least, is accessibility hashtag. When you write review, ensure that you put a hashtag for accessibility, like hashtag accessible wheelchair, hashtag wheelchair car park, hashtag wheelchair elevator, hashtag wheelchair bathroom. So this will help somebody searching using hashtag for places with such information to be able to pop up on the top list of the search information. So with these details, I guess your review will definitely be helpful to someone that is out there looking for a way to explore his environment. Thank you for listening, and I hope that we are all going to continue to make a positive impact to our immediate community and to the world at large. Back to you, Jen. Thank you. Mute. Unmute yourself, Jen.
Jen, you are on mute.
Mute.
Sorry for it. Thank you, Sagir, for your detailed explanation how to mention accessibility of places in your reviews on Google Maps. Valuable information. And now I invite Kashif to share with us his amazing experience as a meetup host. Kashif hosted 56 local guides meetups so far. Amazing. Please, Kashif.
Thank you so much, Sagir, Jesse. You are amazing. I am nothing in front of you because you did a lot. So that's an honor for me that today I got the chance to explain my experience to whom I learned, like Hermes and like Sagir. So regarding accessibility walks, even though I also have to learn a lot about it, I started my journey as a local guide in 2015, and in 2017 I became a member of the amazing forum of Connect. When I joined Connect, I literally don't know the real meaning of accessibility. Even the word, I don't know the meaning of the word of accessibility, even though I knew the importance of accessible entrances some years ago when my dad was on a wheelchair. So more I want to say that at that time my inspiration was Tushi Ilankuan and Hermes. I learned a lot by them and their posts, and by private chats, and by meeting Ellen Kwan in Colombo. So when I was learning the real meaning of this great initiative, I feel that this was like something which I was searching for many years, and by this I can help people like my father who wants to go to any place but cannot access there because of unavailability of accessible entrance. So if you have the same thoughts of helping others, you can start it anytime with a group of friends or alone. Don't hesitate to do that. Your every single contribution which you upload through Google Maps, such a review, upload a photo, or edit, it will surely help someone. So let me explain that what is an accessibility walk. If you made an aim that today you are going somewhere alone or with some friends, along with your own work, like you are going somewhere for your work, and after you're completing your task or work, if you can do a small or long walk, capture some photos of entrances, uploaded it on Google Maps with your detailed review about the place, edit something which should be visible on Google Maps. This will call accessibility walk. How your contribution after an accessibility walk will help those people who have different abilities. So just suppose a person who is willing to visit any restaurant but he wants to do an inquiry about that specific place, that if he will travel for that place, or and maybe he or she cannot enter there if the place does not have any accessible entrance. So maybe his long travel will be go to west bilkul, like totally waste. Or in other options you can say uh, he can just buy a takeaway meal. But if you will add enough information about that place, the person sorry the person who has a different ability will decide in advance that maybe he should visit that place or not. And on other hand, I saw in many cases when we put our contribution about a place where they don't have facilities or differently facilities for differently able people, they surely think about it, because normally a person with different ability will not visit alone, but sometimes with family or friends. In that case, the owner can lose many customers just because of unavailable accessible entrances. And to inspire and motivate other people, you can write a detailed recap with some helpful and amazing photos on Connect. When people will read it, they will surely motivate. It will surely motivate them to follow you, as I was motivated in my past by my mentors like Ilan Kwan and Hermes. And maybe next year, you will be here and you will sharing your experience with others like I am doing it now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kashif. Thank you for guiding us how to host local guides, meetups, and accessibility walks. We know you encouraged many local guides to contribute for this novel cause. Local guides have added information about wheelchair accessibility to millions of places around the world. We can all have a great impact. We invite you to share your knowledge of accessibility features of places which you visit on Google Maps to contribute to this, make the maps more accessible and make our world inclusive for everyone and everywhere. Together we make the world a better place for everyone. And now we have a questions answer session, and we have very interesting questions in our chat. And please, we can unmute yourself and ask a question too.
I have a question.
Before that, let me read a question mentioned by Sonia, and I will answer it.
Sagir, before you answer my question,
Okay.
let me rephrase my words. My question was actually, I know a lot of places have ramps and we call them accessible. I mean, they have the accessibility facility, but I'm talking about particularly the door. Most of the stores don't have the motion sensor, or they do not open automatically. Someone else have to open the door to let the wheelchair enter. So will that be considered as the wheelchair accessible entrance? That was my question.
It's wheelchair accessible entrance, provided person with a wheelchair can have. You can have access to that facility. The only challenge the wheelchair user can have is for someone to come and open the door for him to be able to go through the door. So I guess you count it as wheelchair accessible. Those that are not accessible are the ones without a ramp, and even somebody is there that opened the door for them, they will not be able to pass because maybe the door is narrow, or there's a step that the wheelchair will not be able to go through smoothly. So those are the ones that are not accessible. Thank you. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Sagir.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Sagir. And please check chat. Jesse, maybe you have some questions from chat?
I only saw Sonia's one, but Pratik was talking about his accessibility contributions. Maybe he wants to talk about that or has a question.
Please feel free to ask question if you have, Pratik.
No, basically, I'm just being clear right now. I forgot the name of the lady. I had the same question. Who opens the door for the physical challenge people, or for the wheelchair accessibility? Sometimes, there is a photo of the wheelchair accessibility, but there is no one to open the door. So the person might be feeling very difficult. So, and right now during this COVID, we don't need to touch anyone. We have to keep the social distance. So, I have a question: how the physical challenge people or any kind of disability people, how they should, they should go out and, make this thing happen.
Well, I want to give my opinion about the accessibility doors, accessible doors. I don't consider doors accessible if someone can't open them without help. So I only consider those accessible if someone can go in without the help of others, because I think when things are accessible, you don't need help from others if you're in a wheelchair or if you have an accessibility need. So I just want to give my opinion on that. And I also wanted to talk about hashtags. Using hashtags on reviews isn't something anymore. They changed that, I think, last year. So using accessible hashtags or things like that doesn't work anymore. But you can use the word accessible, and it will have an impact on the place. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the information.
I'm not sure if anyone else wants to talk about it.
I think you've answered it. Elmes has raised hand. Go ahead, Elmes.
Yes, thank you, Sagir. Yes, I had a question. I mean, Jessica already answered to me, maybe in partly. I mean, normally, for example, what I like to do is, of course, highlighting on my review if a place is accessible. But sometimes, if a place is not accessible, I want to highlight it more. And because, my feeling is that you need to, this is probably me, but I want to create discomfort. I mean, just because it's very beautiful for every business to have our review where we say the place is wonderful, the place is accessible, and this is a useful information. But I'm thinking about a person with disability, and I'm thinking about that. I want to know what is more helpful for him. Just to know if a place is accessible, or also to know that a place is not accessible. There is a difference between a missing information and a negative information. And in this way, I think that we can help more people. So what is your opinion about explaining sometimes when a place is not accessible, and give a big weight to this? I mean, just to explain to others that they cannot go inside that place. What is the impact on your experience of doing this?
I want to say that there are in Ukraine many people is not accessible, and it's very tough for me because I visited. I love to travel and visited many different countries, and I can see how these places, for example, in the USA, accessible, totally accessible, because business, as I know, business cannot open. Owners cannot open his business if he made facilities for people with disabilities. A pity in my country is different. And even I faced the circumstances that I hosted a knowledge sharing meetup for disability days World Disability Days last year, when it's possible, was possible before quarantine restriction. And I shared knowledge. I shared about what we should to check, which facility around. And we go with school pupils, with kids. It was 12, 13 years old kids. We go out from the school and check at accessibility facilities. I was impressed because this school has signed this accessible place. And this school has ramps, just to have these ramps, to say we have ramps, we are accessible. But I didn't tell about the toilet or some special facilities, just ramp to come to school for parents with strolling, for maybe grandparents for these kids, and just people who have some difficulties with stages. This ramps was aside and just to the flower field place. It was not accessible ramp. And kids asked me what we should to do. And we discussed it. We continue our discussions in school garden. When they was impressed, and it was very touching for me. And because we discussed it, and we I'm glad to hear from them that when they grow up, they will lead business. They have some shops, maybe someone will be designer. And I believe they will change our life to better way for people with some special needs. And that's why now, when we all adults around, we can just put our small contribution to maps and say, this place is not accessible. This ramp does not work. It's not accessible ramps, even if there is. And also about the doors, maybe this place has ramps, but these doors too short to come inside.
Yeah.
I can see many examples here. And sure, I can see it's my city and different city, in different country too. But our aim to change it, and together we can do it. Many countries, Europe, America, and have many facilities. And for us is good opportunity, good chance to learn from them and give and share in our countries our knowledge and change the minds of our children's kids. When they grow up, they know about it and change our life and change our world. Day-to-day life, our world around us, no somewhere, some long distance way, around us every day. Some stages pass to some places, some parking, some facilities, some places to go, because now people closed at home, not because of COVID, because of virus, because they cannot go out, because there are no accessible paths. There are no accessible places with toilet. As Tracy mentioned in his post before, that there are good pub. If this bar does not have accessible toilet, people cannot visit it.
Yeah. Exactly. Because I left a very bad review just 1 month ago, because I was visiting Venice again because I want to track, the situation of the bridges, and slowly the bridges in Venice are becoming accessible. And I have a post ready. Then I had some issue. And by the way, one of the things that I was noticing is that most of the bar, as at the ground floor, just close to the road, Maybe the road is not accessible, but for definition, they say that all the bars are accessible. And I was trying to go to the toilet. I was in difficult to go to the toilet by myself. I mean, because I had just to rotate my body to be able to pass through the door. And I wrote a terrible review, and they say the place is claiming to be accessible, but disabled cannot go inside the toilet. Also, an able person have difficult to go there. And so I wanted really to highlight this. And you know that I'm mapping accessible park. And well, a couple of months ago, I was trying to go with my mom just in the park in front of the house. The park is, of course, accessible. It's everything really beautiful. And just trying to reach the park, I had to move for half kilometers around to find a place where to be able to go up with the wheelchair. So the park was accessible. It was beautiful. But for my mom, that was in wheelchair, I had to run for half kilometer just to be able to reach the entrance. And the park was in front of me, was there. But there was no way, not a ramp in there, no one. I had really to go around everywhere and enter in the other side. That's why I am curious about this, because in my opinion, and maybe it's just my own, highlighting the negative side is maybe more important than just give a good review, because it's good to highlight also the people that is doing something good. But in my way, in my mind, we need to highlight and say, hey guys, you cannot enter that place. Because personally, I want really to create discomfort and to say today, to make the bar or the restaurant in the condition that they can say, oh, we are losing customer. Because at the end, guys, we need to talk about money. If we talk about money, and if we involve money in this and losing money, the business can improve. Otherwise, they will have customer in any case. By the way, taking short. Thank you.
Hermes, just a question, or just let me continue what you are saying. Sometimes, yes, we write reviews, and we do that, and we do that. But is the owner of the place, is he reading that reviews? Sometimes it's our duty to aware the owner that, look, there are some people writing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 about your place. Are you seeing that? This is one thing that we need to tell the owner, that are you seeing what we are writing? Sometimes really they don't see. I went to a guy sometimes and he told me, this is cool. Like, I didn't know about this, that we can see what other people are saying about our place. So they are not aware about this. So this is something that we need also to clear as a Google Guides. This is like something I just wanted to speak about.
Thank you, George.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we are talking about that we should to look for places for these amenities in complex. As Hermes told before, that when we come to park and it's fully accessible, that doesn't mean that we can get there easy. And we can meet many such cases in our life. And when we are talking about owners, they should to their money. And if we give them bad review, people read it and will not come here. And I know that Kashif have many examples about it too. Could you share your experience? And I want to ask again, maybe someone have questions to us. Please ask your question, feel free, ask
Yes,
your question.
I had a question actually.
Please, please, Jan, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Did you ever encounter any problems with if you take pictures of, for example, parking spaces for with relation to accessibility, and you upload them to the point of interest, that they don't get published? I experienced this only like 2 weeks ago. There was a supermarket just around the corner here where it was restyled. So I already added a picture of the building like when it was opened. But then at my last visit, I noticed, hey, there are parking spaces, but there's no picture. So I took a picture, uploaded it, and then when I checked later on, this picture only gets 5 views. So that's when you check yourself. It was not getting picked up and not shown at the point of interest. Strange. MS as an idea.
Oh yes, and I agree with you. And no, I was just thinking about this times ago, because many times what I saw in my area is that we don't have a parking identified in Google Maps. So my opinion is that we should add the parking place, especially if it is accessible parking place, as a separate point of interest, because in this way the disabled will also find where the parking is. I am preparing a post, and when I will have time, I will do it. Exactly about parking place, not only accessible, but all the parking place, because in many places we cannot arrive with the car. And so if we want to drive there, we need to know where we have to park, where is the closest parking. And right now, I don't think this is available on Google Maps, but this is most important if you have to go in a business, if you have to go in a supermarket, and you need to know if there is the available parking place. Normally in Europe, this is easy to find. In United States, they have to have the parking place. But in many countries, I'm not sure that you will be able to find and to know if there is a parking place for your car, if you are disabled, or if you have to park just 1 kilometer away, and then to move with your wheelchair for 1 kilometer just to reach the shopping.
What I would really love to see is that in the photo section on a point of interest, that there's a tab for inside, a tab for outside, tab for food. Why is there no tab for accessibility pictures?
Yes,
Yeah,
there is an idea. There is an idea about that in Connect. I don't remember who wrote that, but there is an idea about that, and I know that somebody suggested, and I fully support this, because I found difficult, what some people is doing, because they put just the symbol of accessibility on the picture is nice, but that picture will disappear. And I want to support the idea in Connect about creating a section of photo only for the accessibility, to make easy to identify, because I don't need, if it is a popular place, I don't want to scroll down thousands of photos just to see if there is an available parking. I want to have a specific session in there. Also, I know that we need to educate the local guide to use that tab in the correct way, or somebody, the engineers, with the help also, and now I'm not sure about what crowdsource, we need to identify that photo as photo of accessibility and move that photo in the specific tab.
Yes.
Google Photo can do that, crowdsource can do that. And if they cooperate together, this will be so simple to do.
I agree, totally agree. Sonia raised her hands, please, Sonia.
Okay, my question is, it's actually related to Jan's point about the parking. In our country, I mean, in Bangladesh, we don't have any designated parking for accessible people. But on the contrary, in America, we all know that the designated parking, if it is illegal to park there if you're not accessible. So my point is, if we see someone who is not disabled and they are parking at that accessible spot, can we report, I mean, can we take a picture and report them as well, or what should we do in that case?
I think that's something legal that you should talk about or see in your country how it is, and not something for maps.
Okay.
No.
No,
Okay,
you can't do that. You can't do that on Google Maps, because you will be fined minimum, because you are violating the privacy of the people, But you need to report it to the police.
If we do not, I mean, if we blur or delete the car number or something, that way we can do that?
I think no.
No, because in that case, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, because if you just cover the page, it's that how can you know that is the wrong car? By the way, guys, I want to add something. I started in March, and I am trying to move a girl to the local guides community, but you can find her in Instagram. She is Julia Lamarca. You can check for her because she's posting a video just yesterday about an accessible parking. And she is a real girl in wheelchair, and I'm talking to her frequently because I want to have her as a local guide to help us to do this. And let's see if I can convince her. And was making just yesterday or 2 days ago on Instagram a video about an accessible parking that was used by other people. So it is interesting to see the reaction of the people, because she was just putting a speakers over the sign, the accessible sign, and she was hidden behind the tree, and she was saying, "Hey, you have not an accessible car." "Yes, but it's just for 1 minute." And all the answer of the people disturbed because somebody was telling them that they didn't have to be there. I mean, you have to move away. You are using a place that is not yours. And it is incredible. The beauty of this video is just to see the stupid answer of the people that have to justify themselves for using a place where they cannot be. So if you have time, check for them.
Thank you, Hermes. Thank you so much. And a pity I have to say you goodbye because we have lack of time and time is over. And let's take a photo. Please switch on your cameras and we will take a photo together. That's awesome. Feel free to share your photo screenshots to your social medias with hashtag community live 2020 and let's hashtag local guides and let's guide. And also feel free to share your experience and your request on Connect. And Jesse, please invite everyone to the lounge room.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a lovely conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
you.
There was a lot of information. We got it. Thank you so much.